elementary students, and welcome to another episode of On the Go. Now, if you are unfamiliar with how we play this competition, I recommend you go back and look at the first episode of On the Go. It explains everything that you need to know. But for our GeoQuesters who have been with us from the beginning, let's take a look at the next leg of our competition. I'm going to pull out my phone, open up the GeoQ app, and let them know that we are ready. Oh, what's that? Oh, you want to know what place we're in. And let's take a look at what place we are in. Currently, we are in first place. This is an amazing place to be, but the competition is not over yet. So boys and girls, if you are ready to go to our next location, let me hear you say, let's go. Fantastic. I'm going to log into GeoQ that we're ready to go, and as soon as we hear the
final boarding call for flight 910.
Yep, there it is. Final boarding call. Boys and girls, let's buckle our seatbelts and let's fly to some unknown location. Whoa, there is so much green here. I don't know if I've ever seen so much green before. This is, wow. I know one of the clues that we learned last week about wherever we are said something about the population of this country is only 5% human and the rest is animals. Whatever the animals are, I bet they eat a lot of grass. So boys and girls, we now need to figure out where exactly in the world we are. But luckily, our GeoQ app always gives us some location clues to help us out. So I am going to open it up on my phone, but I'm also going to share it with you right here so that you can help me decipher the clues. All right, clue number 1 says, the population in this country is 5% human and the rest are animals. Now, what kind of animals eat grass? Yep, cows do, Okay, I heard somebody say sheep. Yep, they do too. Rabbits, they eat, lots of animals that eat grass. So let's see what the next clue says. This country won the first ever Rugby World Cup. Well, we talked about a World Cup last episode, but that was for soccer. Rugby is a sport that is primarily played in European countries. But I also know they play it around Australia as well. Let's take a look at the last clue. The people in this country are called Kiwis. Well, that's a fun word to say, Kiwi. Can you say Kiwi? Kiwi, that's absolutely right. And you know what? I actually know that in the country of New Zealand, they call the people there Kiwis. Do you think we're in New Zealand? I mean, once I log it into the GeoQ app, it's final, and we'll find out if we're in the next leg of the competition. All right, I'm gonna log it in that we are in New Zealand. Let's see if we're right.
G'day, mates. How you going? That's just the Kiwi way of saying what's up. It's so good to see you, my fellow GeoQuesters. I'm Wand Around, and I'm here to confirm your latest location. You have landed your jandals on the Wop Wops of New Zealand. Though the native language of New Zealand is English, you may be surprised by some of the vocabulary they've created for themselves. Like jandals are what we call sandals, or being on the Wop Wops is another way of saying you're in the middle of the countryside. But why would anyone be way out here? Well, tending to their flocks, of course. That's because sheep outnumber humans 3 to 1 here in New Zealand. If you need to get around while you're out here, get ready to board your own personal kayak. That might be a lot of rowing, but over 33% of people own one, so all aboard! Oh, and you've come to the right place if you're afraid of snakes. This island is known as being quite the snake-free zone. No reptile house at the zoos around here. In fact, There's only one zoo on the entire island. But why would you need the zoo when you got all those sheep? With an average yearly temperature of 65 degrees, there is no need to pack a coat, but definitely bring your swimsuit. There is nowhere on the island that is more than 79 miles from the sea. Oh, and while you're hanging out by the sea, wave hello to the penguins, because in New Zealand, there are 13 different types. That's more than anywhere else on the planet. What'll we even do with all those penguins? Get it? Waddle. The official sport of New Zealand is rugby. In fact, they won the very first ever Rugby World Cup. Now I know what you're thinking. Do they even have enough people to make a team? Maybe they recruit from the field. Could you imagine an all-sheep rugby team? While that would be pretty awesome, I'm willing to bet you're not here to cheer on the Rams. I'm sure, however, you'd like to know where the souvenir can be found. Well, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It can be located at the coordinates 36 degrees, 50 inches, 4 feet southwest of, I'm gonna be honest, still not good at this coordinates thing, but I'm guessing you'll want a little more help than that. So of course, Wander Around has got you covered. Here are a few hints to get you started. This souvenir would love to share, but its coat really can't be removed. You count it when you're sleepy and snuggled it when you were a kid. Now those coordinates have been loaded into GeoQ. Check back in once you found the souvenir.
We were right. We're in New Zealand, and that means we need to find the souvenir that has to do with New Zealand. Now, Juan gave us a couple of clues that are going to help us to figure out what the souvenir is. The first clue was we count these when we go to sleep. Now, what is something that you like to count when you go to sleep? Whoa, a lot of you said sheep. I like to count sheep when I fall asleep, but I don't know if I can carry a real live sheep home on the airplane. I don't think that's allowed. It said this is also something that you could snuggle with at night. Now, what is something that you would snuggle with at night? Like a stuffed animal or a blanket of some sort? I wonder if I need to find a stuffed sheep of some kind. But boys and girls, I need your help. I need you to bring something that can act as a souvenir from New Zealand as well that has to do with sheep. So I want you to pause the video and go find something in your house that is made from cotton. Maybe it's a shirt, maybe it's a blanket, whatever it is, I want you to go and find it and bring it back here. But I want you to pause the video first. Are you ready? Go ahead and pause and... Did you pause? Did you? No? Video's still going? Did you pause? Oh, you want to pause. Good. You're back. Oh, I see some of you are holding a t-shirt. That's super helpful. Is that blanket made of wool? Oh, that's so nice. Very cool. Well, while you were looking, I actually went out and I found this stuffed sheep to use as my souvenir as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the GeoQ app and I'm going to log in that we found our souvenirs having to do with sheep. Let's see if we're right.
Man, I sure do quest with the best. I knew you would find it. You found the sheep. Way to go, questers from out westers. Now, I hope you didn't have a bad time finding our furry little friend, but there's a reason I wanted you to find the sheep. So let's start from the beginning. Have you ever felt lost or alone? You'd think with all my questing, I wouldn't, but I sure have. The reason I had you find the sheep was because it's a great reminder that one of the names of God is Shepherd. That's right. Oh, I know. We're not actually sheep, but we're kind of like them. You know, we love to snack all day, and sometimes we just wander off. So let me explain. There was a guy in the Bible named David, and when he was younger, he was a shepherd. Shepherds were guys who took care of sheep by leading them to food in green pastures or meadows and making sure they had water to drink from streams. If a sheep wandered away from the flock, the shepherd would go find it and bring it back. Shepherds carried a long stick with them with a hook on the end called a crook. In the Middle East, where the stories we read in the Bible took place, there were some rocky, hilly areas. If a sheep fell between the rocks and the shepherd couldn't reach it, the shepherd would use the crook to help rescue the sheep and lift it to safety. Shepherds also protect the sheep from harm, like from wolves and thieves. Being a shepherd really helped David learn a ton about God, and he wrote all about it in Psalm 23. It's about how God loves us and protects us, just like a shepherd would with his sheep. Here's how it goes. The Lord is my shepherd. He gives me rest in green pastures. He leads me to calm water. Pause. Doesn't that seem great? I mean, who wouldn't want rest and a nice cold drink? So refreshing. Back to it. He gives me new strength. For the good of his name, he leads me on paths that are right. Even if I walk through a very dark valley, I will not be afraid because you are with me. Your rod and your shepherd's staff comfort me. Okay, double pause. So get this. God gives us strength and he helps us know how to do what's right. And if we're going through a tough time, we don't need to be afraid because God is totally right there with us. I mean, is that a good shepherd or what? Answer, yes it is. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah. You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me more than I can hold. I know I keep doing this, but this we gotta talk about. I mean, prepare a meal, blessings, more than we can hold. Sign me up for that, please. Oh wait, I don't wanna forget the best part. Let's keep going. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Wasn't that great? You see what I mean? Just like a shepherd loves and protects his sheep, God does that for us too. God will tell us the right way to go and make sure we have what we need. And if we ever feel scared or alone, we can trust that he's there with us. And now that you have a little sheep of your own, you can remember that God is my shepherd. All right, my favorite questers, I'll see you guys on the next trip. Until then, don't rest on the quest. Keep traveling the world. Trust me, it'll be worth it.
That is such a great reminder. While we were thinking about sheep and looking for sheep, and as you were looking for souvenirs that have some sort of cotton or wool in it, this is a good reminder that God is my shepherd. It's actually one of the names that we have for God. Because in the same way that a shepherd takes care of his flock of sheep, God takes care of us. He does. And so we know that we can trust God to take care of us no matter what's going on. And so our need to know this week, the big idea that we want you to remember is this. God is my shepherd. Can you say that with me? God is my shepherd. That's absolutely right. All right, GeoQuesters, let's see how we did so far this week. It looks like we were the second team to log in that we were in New Zealand. And look at this. We were the first team to find the stuffed sheep and to bring our souvenirs having to do with cotton. This puts us in really good standing, boys and girls. Well, according to GeoQ, it looks like the next episode is going to take us to a place that has one river, but without the river, the whole place would be entirely a desert. A desert with a river running through it. I wonder where that's going to take us. The only way to find out is to join us for the next episode of On the Go. I really love the fact that we got to learn about how God is our shepherd. It's actually a name that they have for God in the Bible. And I love that picture of how a shepherd takes care of their sheep, that God takes care of us. as well.
And we also don't want you guys to miss out on a single thing. So go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you guys can be in on absolutely everything that we're doing here in Soul City Kids.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time for On the Go.